Okay, so I want to talk to you about something that I think will make you feel so much better about yourself today, and hope this explanation does help you feel better about yourself. You know that feeling that you get when you're completely overwhelmed, your heart is pounding, you can't think straight, someone says something and you snap, or they tell you to calm down when you're already up here and you want to smack the hell out of them or flip that table, or you just may be picturing that in your mind. Then afterwards you think, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just calm down? Why do I react this way? It's because you're designed to have that reaction when you're not feeling safe, when you're overwhelmed, when you're angry, when you're just, and somebody makes it, you snap. That's because you're already here when your baseline should be here, but we've been programmed all of our lives to stay on high alert for the bad things. We have, perceived threats. We were raised with the Cold War. We were raised to believe nuclear, and still today, wait, nuclear war at any moment could produce nuclear winter, or it could just be a really stressful email at work. Your body releases cortisol and adrenaline and norepinephrine. I have words since my brain injury with long words, so excuse me if I don't pronounce things correctly, by the way. Your heart rate goes up, your muscles tense, your blood flow shifts away from your prefrontal cortex, this part of your brain. I don't know if you guys remember the story of Phineas Gage, that when you were told in school he got a railroad spike through the front of his brain and then he lost like all of his inhibitions. That's because right here in the prefrontal cortex is where we make all of our decisions. It's where we rationalize, we analyze. When we're upset, might as well have that railroad spike in your head because that's offline. Totally goes offline. Back to your reticulating part of the reptilian part of your brain in the back here for fight, flight, or fawn. It's literally turned off. So you have no reasoning or logic skills, your perspective, your impulse control, just that everything caters to survival. So when you're activated, it's just not something you can't control that. You're not being dramatic. You're not weak. You're not failing in anything. You're not experiencing anything abnormal. You're just experiencing your neurological or biological response that your body has to been doing since, humans were hiding from predators at the beginning of our species. The person that tells you to just calm down in that moment is asking you to literally use a part of your brain you don't have access to. So you can't calm down. It's like asking someone to write an essay in the middle of a 40-yard sprint or 400-yard sprint. The resources are going to what they're doing, going somewhere else. You're not able to, flip that switch, per se, to get somebody where they want to be or what you need them to be doing or they need you to be doing at that point in time. When you go through extended periods of stress, and a lot of us have been going through those extended periods for most of, if not all, of our lives. That's just part of being Gen X. The nervous system adapts and it recalibrates and it decides, okay, the world is constantly dangerous, so now I just need to stay ready all the time. And it raises your baseline, like I was saying, from, normal would be down here to up here. Your resting state starts to include all your tension, your hypervigilance, your anxiety, your low level, like hum of dread in the pit of your stomach that you can't quite explain or understand why it's there. And then you don't know what calm feels like anymore because you haven't been there in so long. I lived like this most of my life. And honestly, to this day, sometimes I'm still living like this. It's not like everything was taken care of in magic pill, it went away. It takes work to keep maintaining and keeping through a lot of techniques, but it's so worth it to keep so your level can be down here again instead of staying up here. It's learning that chronic dysregulation makes peace and calm feel suspicious to you. And you don't want it to feel suspicious to you. You don't want that to be what you feel is the bad part of life. That's what you should be clinging to and what you should want. First, you need to stop punishing yourself for something that's biology, that reactivity, that anxiety, the exhaustion, that your nervous system, it's not a character flaw. It's a biological fact that you can change. There are things you can do. Second, when you start giving your body signals of safety and you give it the tools to regulate, you aren't giving yourself tricks. You're just, sorry, my dog. Second, when you start giving your body signals of safety, which is what regulation tools do for you, they're not tricks to suppress your emotions. They're ways of telling your body, your nervous system, hey, we're okay. You can calm down now. It's like a slow exhale of breathing, specifically making your exhale longer than your inhale. Sometimes we call this the 4-4-6 method. Breathe in for 4, count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. That is one. Breathing is a fantastic way to calm your nervous system down and activate your parasympathetic system. That's the system that you rest and digest mode. That's calm. That's peace. That's where you want. It's like feeling when you need to feel grounded. You can go put your feet in the grass and have your feet feel what the grass feels like between your toes. Just noticing what you can see. Look around and, oh, I see this, and what's here in front of you. It's pulling your brain back to the present and keeping it in the presence of the conversation you're having or whatever you're doing. It's not having to multitask all the time. And it pulls it out of threat response. That is something that we have to learn to do in order to get better, is pull us out of threat response. Things like cold water on your face or your hands. If you keep waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go in the bathroom and run the coldest water you can over your hands, which stimulates your vagus nerve and actually helps you calm your nervous system down and will allow you to go to sleep easier. The same thing, because it signals the brain that there's not an emergency now. They're not magic. None of them work, one tool works in isolation, but practiced consistently, the breathing or cold water or meditation, they genuinely, over time, will reorganize and lower your baseline nervous system response. And here's where faith comes into this. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 states, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Power, love, and a sound mind. That's our design. It's your inheritance. The work we do to regulate our nervous system is not separate from that promise. It's how we get back to that promise. A dysregulated nervous system cannot access what God designed us for. And doing the work to heal it, that's the stewarding what He gave you. Now, if you've been beating yourself up for not being able to calm down, I just want you to stop today. Give yourself some of the grace that God has already given you. Give yourself forgiveness and love and peace. And if you want to learn more tools, subscribe, because I'm going to give you something real. And we're going to be doing these practice. I'm going to start going live and practicing the techniques with you to give you actual things that you can do. Leave me a comment. What does your anxiety feel like? What does your body feel like when you're anxious? Where do you feel it? And let me know. We can talk about it in future videos. So, fly, my butterflies, fly. Blessings.